Hello my darlings, I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. Hope you're all snuggled up, yes? Okay, great. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the rise and fall of freckle tattoos. Oh boy, I think some of you were expecting this type of thing to happen, right? I feel like a majority of you are not going to be shocked by what I'm about to cover in today's video, that's for sure. But yeah, back in, I want to say like 2017, 2018, 2019, like around about that area or era or those years, there was all of a sudden like a slow increase in people getting freckles tattooed onto their face. While beauty mark tattoos have pretty much always been a thing, like they have been a thing for many, many, many years, freckle tattoos weren't entirely popular at all until, well, social media said it was popular and acceptable and a thing that you should be doing. Okay, maybe social media isn't to blame completely, but I want to say social media definitely has a big part in the fact that freckle tattoos for sure had an increase in popularity, without a doubt. Many people flocked to tattoo artists and permanent makeup artists to get freckles tattooed on their face. I am one of them. In the summer of 2022, I got my eyebrows microbladed and I had some freckles hand poked onto my face. I myself love freckles. Growing up, I had freckles all over the place, mainly on my arms, shoulders, and on my face, obviously. And I still do have freckles. They are on my like upper arm area, on my shoulders. They are very, very faint, and if I was to spend some time in the sun, they would become a lot more prominent, but I don't like the sun. I do not go out in the sun unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, the majority of my freckles are, you know, not very noticeable whatsoever. And ever since I've become an adult and more of a recluse, the ones on my face barely ever show up. For me personally, I do not regret my freckle tattoos by any means. I love them so, so much. I honestly am thinking of going back and having some more because my skin type is oily. And when you have oily skin and you have semi-permanent makeup tattoos, it can accelerate the breakdown of the pigments. So yeah, like my freckle tattoos, they've faded mostly on my like cheek area and on my forehead area because that's where I had them. But they haven't faded so much on my nose, but my nose surprisingly, which never makes sense for an oily person, I know, but my nose never gets oily. It's my cheeks and my like forehead. I don't have like the T-zone thing. I have the T, but I don't have the line. Does that make sense? But yeah, I'd happily get more freckle tattoos. And yeah, I basically got mine because I do like freckles and I missed having freckles on my face. And I didn't get them because, you know, it was like a cute trend or what have you. Like I fear the majority of people did. We actually also saw quite a few people get rainbow freckles. Do you remember that? There was quite a few people that got like colourful dots and sprinkles and little hearts all over their face, which I personally really, really like. I don't know, they're just like so fun and unique and different. And rainbow freckles honestly just give me like the biggest 90s vibes. You know, everything's like so beige and boring at the moment. So like when someone's like super colourful or wanted to do colourful freckles, I don't know, I was just so about it. When there was a big increase of people getting freckle tattoos, those that had freckles naturally were quite pissed off, to put it politely. Like a lot of them were pissed off because, you know, them themselves, when they were children or even adults, were ruthlessly bullied because they had freckles, and basically their freckles made their lives hell. So all of these people with natural freckles on their face were kind of like, what are you doing? Freckles literally made my life a living hell. And you're out here like permanently or semi-permanently tattooing them on your face or drawing them on your face with makeup. And like, I fully believe that these people definitely had the right to be pissed off at this whole thing, because I can just only imagine, you know, how awful it is to be bullied for something that you have zero control over. Like, you cannot control the fact that you have freckles. And I can fully understand how it would be so incredibly, I don't know, just disheartening or heartbreaking to see something that made your life miserable become all of a sudden cool or a trend on social media. So like, I've always been incredibly mindful with that because, again, I am obviously a person that got freckle tattoos, but I'm also a person that had or has freckles. Most people are like, oh, it's just not that deep, you know, it's just like whatever, get over it. The fact that you went through bullying doesn't mean I can't do this or whatever. Like, I just feel like people just need to be a bit more I don't know, like empathetic of people and what they have to say about things like this. Over many, many, many years, and still to this day, people spend so much money trying to hide their freckles, whether that is, you know, with heavy duty makeup, with skincare products, or even doing laser or beauty treatments on their freckles to get rid of them. It's just wild, isn't it? How, you know, for some people, one thing is absolutely freaking breathtakingly beautiful, and to others, they're just like, ew, no, get this off me, I don't want this. You know, like, it's funny how the world works, right? But it's been the same thing for many, many things when it comes to trends. At the minute, there is this whole cowboy copper thing. So there's many people dyeing their hair copper or auburn, ginger, red. And there's just so many people that have naturally red hair, ginger hair, copper hair, warm-toned hair, that it's just like, wow, like I've been bullied for my hair color like my whole life, and now it's a trend on social media, you know, or I've been ridiculed for many years for having this hair color, and now there's just like so many people spending thousands of pounds like on hair dye. And this, of course, can be said for so many things, like so many things people want that other people don't want, or have been ridiculed for, or been bullied for, or even, you know, like had actual harm put on them for. Anyway, we're here for tattoos, so let's get back to the tattoos. The majority of freckle tattoos have been done by semi-permanent ink, or should I say semi-permanent ink. These inks are meant to last anywhere from 18 months to 5 years, depending on your skin type and how much sun exposure you have. There's obviously so many different factors as to how long a semi-permanent tattoo ink is meant to last. And as you have probably noticed, I have been doing this, okay, because people are starting to notice that their semi-permanent makeup tattoos are lasting a little bit longer than they had been promised, and they are being left with very dodgy looking, you know, eyebrows, freckle tattoos, any other things that are done with semi-permanent makeup. I came across this very interesting TikTok from someone called Maya. In this TikTok, Maya discusses the issues with these semi-permanent makeup inks, and the fact that there are a lot of people out there having issues with their microbladed eyebrows. So yes, this is to do with microbladed eyebrows, but it's still in the same realm, you know?
I think people have started to realize that microbladed eyebrows are quite literally just a facial tattoo. Many girls were lied to and said, hey, we can do this treatment, it will only last a couple of years and your eyebrows will look great. Later, they are stuck with this that will not go away. They are left with like this awful blocky red splotchy patch. You either gotta microblade it for the rest of your life and commit to a facial tattoo basically, or you have to get it lasered off. So many girls come forward saying they regret microblading so hard because it's behaving more like a tattoo that needs to be touched up.
So yeah, this can obviously all apply to freckle tattoos that have been done with semi-permanent ink. I do believe that the majority of people that did get freckle tattoos pretty much had the whole blasé, oh, you know, it's fine. If I don't like it, or I don't have to keep this forever because it's semi-permanent, it will fade soon, it's no big deal. When in actual fact, it is a big deal, because there is a chance that they will not fade, or they will fade but not in a nice way. There's a TikTok from this tattoo artist by the name of You Are Youthful. I quite like that. Like, thank you so much. I'm youthful. I don't feel it. I do not feel it in my bones, honey. But in a TikTok that You Are Youthful posted, she basically tells people not to get freckle tattoos because the inks that are used to do freckle tattoos, the semi-permanent inks, as they fade, the undertones that are used for this ink may start shining through, which will result in unwarranted results.
You should never get freckle tattoos. They are going to age over time, and that ink is going to break down and the color is going to change. So you may be using a brown ink now, but it can turn into whatever that base color is. Green, yellow, really just depends, and nobody needs that in their face.
And this was the case for someone named Kenzie. Kenzie got freckle tattoos in 2022, which is the same year that I got mine.
I don't know that I got freckles. I got tattoo freckles in 2021 or the beginning of 2022, and I think it was the beginning of 2022, and they were really cute at first. Now not so much. They look like little blackheads on my face, and I'm an esthetician, like I'm just not cool with that.
So yeah, I have a feeling that they looked nice and natural to begin with, but as the pigment in the semi-permanent tattoo ink started to break down, they started to lean a little bit more cool toned, giving that sort of blackhead effect that Kenzie was talking about there, which I can fully understand as to why that would be bothersome to Kenzie and anyone else that this has happened to. I would not be happy with that by any means. Obviously, I'm wearing foundation now, so you can't see my freckle tattoos, but mine are still very leaning on the warm tone. Luckily, I mean, that's what I requested. I was very, you know, like adamant as to the fact that I wanted the freckle tattoos that I got on my face were to match or be as close as possible to my like darker freckles on my skin. So I wanted that like really warm, yellowy, orangey freckle tone because I'm very, very pale. But yeah, anyway, going back to Kenzie actually decided to get her freckle tattoos lasered off. She went to get these tattoos zapped off because she just didn't like them anymore.
So I'm actually on the way to go and get these freckles removed. So I just got here. They put lidocaine on my face already, and I'm just filling out my consent forms. And then we got all the little machines. I don't know which one's which, but the doctor's gonna be in like 15 minutes. Okay, so this is immediately after. I'm a little shaky. That shit hurt like a motherfucker, okay? Don't recommend.
I actually can't imagine the pain of having laser tattoo removal on your face. Like, laser tattoo removal hurts at the best of times on like your arms or your legs or your back or what have you. But to have it on your face where the skin on your face is so incredibly thin, and that's like all up in here. Do you know what I mean? Like right near your eyes and all up in your nose and your sinuses, and like, oh, that just must be so incredibly painful. Like, props to anyone that can, you know, sit through laser treatments on their face.
They're gone. But he said that the ink, depending on the ink that was used, it could take multiple sessions. So they zapped him for now, but they could pop back up.
I'd be hoping and praying that they would never ever ever show up again for me. Never. I'd be like, okay, I hope this is the final results, because I just couldn't, I can go through all of that again. From the little bit of research I did do, I found out that semi-permanent ink that is used in semi-permanent makeup tattoos has a smaller pigment size in it than regular tattoo ink, which then leads it to break down a lot quicker than regular tattoo ink. But it honestly does depend per person. It depends per person. Again, what your skin type is, how you look after your skin, where you live, are you always in the sun? There's also application as well. You know, if you go to a semi-permanent makeup tattoo artist that is heavy-handed, there's a chance that, you know, they'll give you scar damage anyway. So yeah, maybe the tattoo ink fades a bit, but you may still be left with a mark. There's just so many things that could contribute to the fact that these semi-permanent makeup tattoos just don't actually fade. It's not as casual as the majority of people make it out to be, and that is honestly in itself a whole problem. Like, obviously I mainly just make tattoo related content, like the art style of tattoos, but there is so many dodgy semi-permanent makeup tattoo artists out there that are not transparent about the fact that these semi-permanent makeup tattoos, okay, may stick around longer than you think, or they're just too casual about the whole thing. They're just like, oh yeah, you know, you can come back in like 2 to 3 years when it's all faded and we'll touch it up for you, or we'll redo it for you. You know, like, they basically want you to get in that chair to draw some eyebrows on you and send you on your way and then leave you with whatever, right? And it's not their problem, you know? You made the choice to go ahead and do it, I guess, like. But anyway, back to Kenzie. Should her freckle tattoos have been done by semi-permanent tattoo ink, there is a chance, because again the particles within semi-permanent tattoo ink are a little bit smaller, they tend to break down a lot quicker when people go for removal, whether that is laser or saline. So she shouldn't need too many sessions to get rid of her freckle tattoos. Fingers crossed anyway, because obviously that's a lot to go through. After seeing Kenzie's story, I wanted to see if there was any other people that were on a path or a journey of removing their freckle tattoos. And surprise, surprise, Kenzie is not the only one. There's actually a lot of people out there removing their freckle tattoos. So I come across this TikTok from someone named Christina, and she has a quite popular TikTok
I got my freckles lasered off this morning. This is day 1. So follow along if you want to see how it heals. I think it takes a couple sessions, but I might just do 1 or 2. But it looks crazy.
The difference between Kenzie's and Christina's post laser tattoo removal session is insane. Kenzie didn't have much irritation at all, just like a regular amount of redness that you would expect from a laser tattoo removal session, right? Whereas Christina looks like she has been bitten by a bunch of rats. With peace and love, like that is drastic. Like that is insane. That is so much redness. Like it looks scarred. It looks like grazed. You know, like when a kid falls over and they like graze their palms or wherever, their knees. It looks like that. It looks like that on the face. That must have been so painful. Like, ooh. I will, however, say that Kenzie's freckle tattoos weren't as noticeable as Christina's. Christina did have a lot of coverage when it comes to her freckle tattoos, and they were a lot darker as well. So this could obviously lead to a bigger reaction, or maybe Christina just reacts to laser a bit more traumatically than the majority of people that get laser. Or there could have been something within that semi-permanent tattoo ink, or the tattoo ink used to do the freckles, to create such a reaction. Either way, I've personally never seen anything like that before. Okay, correction, I did actually cover someone that had freckle tattoos, but they did it themselves and they used the dodgy ink and it ended up with a terrible reaction. So there's that. It's not the exact same, but it still doesn't look nice. Luckily for Christina, this reaction was very, very temporary and it calmed down very, very quickly. Christina documented her healing journey from her freckle laser tattoo removal appointment, and there was some concerns from a lot of people, because again this video went viral, so there was a lot of people being like, oh girl, that's going to scar. And the caption for the last clip that you saw there was, "To everyone so worried about my skin scarring, it didn't. 6 more weeks and I can do another session." But yeah, I too, when I first saw that, was like, ooh. The possibility of scarring or leaving some marks there, it's pretty high. The laser session that Christina did fade her freckle tattoos quite significantly, actually. I would be happy with those results myself if I was Christina and wanting to remove my freckle tattoos. Like, I'd be pretty happy with that, right? And I personally, obviously I'm not an expert or a professional in any means, but I fully believe that Christina would probably only need another 2 or 3, maybe 4 sessions to fully remove those freckle tattoos from her face, which is good, because with regular tattoo removal, with regular tattoo inks and regular tattoos, you know, your everyday tattoos, that can like take years and so many sessions. So luckily for Christina, they're going to fade pretty quickly or disappear pretty quickly, which again is very lucky, because I can imagine that if there's something on your face that you are not comfortable with, it could really, really knock your confidence and make you feel kind of insecure. And I'm not saying that this is the case for Christina, more of a generalization, but your face is the first thing that most people notice about you. You know, when you're talking to someone, chances are you're looking at their face, or you have looked at their face at some point, right? And like when you're having a moment of like insecurity, especially if it's on your face, you constantly think like, oh god, that person that's talking to me right now is looking at whatever I think is wrong with my face, and it's something that plays in your mind all the time. And yeah, I just have a little bit of sympathy for this whole thing. Like, at the end of the day, Christina and any other person that decided to get freckle tattoos that has now decided to laser them off, at the end of the day, it was their choice. They chose to do that or have that procedure or whatever you want to call it. But I also can't blame them too much because there is truly a lack of information out there about semi-permanent tattooing. I myself, until doing research for this video, never even thought about the fading process with these inks and how, you know, the undertones will start shining through as it fades. That had never crossed my mind. And I'm someone that has semi-permanent makeup tattoos. Again, I've got my eyebrows microbladed, the freckles, and it's just not something that ever popped into my mind. And I feel like that's the same with many other people. So I'm sure there's still people out there that think, well, these people should have done their research. And yeah, okay, sure, but I also feel like this kind of information should be known. I feel like this is the type of information that these semi-permanent makeup tattoo artists should be saying in consultations on their websites. It's the exact same feeling I have for micro tattoo artists who are not open and transparent about the fact that their tattoos, while yes, they do look freaking amazing, will not look great within 15 years time. They kind of just, you know, take people's money and just like, well, you can deal with that in the future when you need a cover up. It's not my issue. I personally would have so much more respect for people that were a lot more open and transparent because it just helps people make better decisions and know what they're getting themselves into. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I came across another person who has been documenting the fact that they are getting their freckle tattoos removed, and they've basically been documenting the whole process in hopes that they help other people that are looking to do the same thing.
This is me getting my cosmetic freckles laser removed. This is directly after the procedure. As you can see, my skin is very red and inflamed. This will be later that night, and then this is about a week later.
It's actually crazy how one session can make such a difference, because again, with Tor's freckles, they were quite dark and prominent, and that one session has lightened them up significantly. So this type of content is obviously incredibly helpful for those that are looking to, you know, remove their freckle tattoos. I have a feeling that the majority of people that are gonna be removing their freckle tattoos is because they are lasting way longer than they thought they would, or, you know, the undertones are shining through and their freckle tattoos are leaning a lot more green toned, grey toned, and not looking so good and natural anymore. Anyway, back to Tor. She has had in total 3 laser sessions at this point. So this was her second freckle tattoo removal appointment session. And then we have the third session here.
I just wanted to reply with this video really quick. I just woke up, washed my face, moisturized. This is about a month healed. If I go closer up, as you could see, I have very baby bits. But I kind of like the way they look. They're way more toned down, very natural, and almost completely faded away.
And yeah, the results are honestly pretty good, if you ask me, you know, like, it's going pretty well, so that's something. There's a comment on one of Tor's TikToks that says, how long did you have to wait after the faux freckles faded, I guess, to get them removed? I just got mine done and I'm having all the regrets. Then Tor said, I waited 3 years, but they do fade in time. I think you just need them to heal a couple weeks. I would find your local professionals. And the person replied, thank you. Mine is my whole forehead and nose bridge, so I'm struggling. Oh, yikes. And I dare say that there have been other people that have these feelings, right? I mean, it's the same with regular tattoos. People will just go ahead and get a tattoo and then, you know, have maybe a little bit of clarity and they're just like, oh crap, what have I done? Like, it's not unheard of, and I for sure believe it's the same with, you know, makeup tattoos or semi-permanent makeup tattoos, whatever you want to freaking call them, okay? Beauty tattoos. There's also the possibility that some people are regretting their freckle tattoos or deciding to get rid of their freckle tattoos because they're just not as popular as they once were on social media. And I wouldn't say they're, you know, going out of style per se. Of course, like, people are still gonna go and get them. But I personally have noticed a big decrease in freckle tattoo related content. For a hot minute, that's pretty much like all that I saw. I'm pretty sure in many of my tattoo enthusiasts reacts to tattoo TikTok series, I reacted to like many freckle related tattoo TikToks, right? And nowadays I hardly get tagged in any freckle tattoo related content. Like hardly ever. Like, again, there was a big increase and I was being tagged in freckle related content daily multiple times, but now barely ever. And yeah, I honestly feel like there is a big decrease of people wanting to get freckle tattoos, or people are just not interested in this type of content anymore. It could be a bit of both. But if it is the case of people just being bored of freckle tattoos now, not wanting to get them anymore because it's not like the cool thing on social media anymore or whatever it is, it isn't shocking to me by any means. We've seen this with so many other things within the tattoo world, right? I recently made a video about the fact that there's people out there that now think that tattoos are out of fashion, they're not cool anymore, and that there is a lot of people regretting getting tattooed and a lot of people lasering off their tattoos. And a few people do boil this down to the fact that the majority of people, you know, not partaking in getting tattooed anymore or lasering off their tattoos is because these people are trend hoppers. You know, one moment it is hella cool to be covered in a bunch of random tattoos that people have found on Pinterest, and now it's all about the clean girl aesthetic, having absolutely no marks on your skin, being pure and angelic and clean and whatever else that bullshit is about, if you ask me. It's not for me. But the whole minimal aesthetic thing, according to some people, does not include tattoos, and I can see how, you know, freckle tattoos can fit into that, and of course with like the whole clean girl aesthetic as well, many people do tie in the fact that that is quite a conservative ideal, and I'm sure you've all noticed the world is becoming more and more conservative as time goes on, and again, tattoos generally just don't fit into that. Now that's of course not to say the people that I've featured in this video are, you know, striving for a conservative look, or they're getting rid of their tattoos because they are conservative, or they want, you know, the clean girl aesthetic by any means. I'm just, you know, freeballing here. But moving forward, I definitely feel like that is something that we will see in our future. We'll see a lot more people, you know, not getting freckle tattoos because they want to achieve the clean girl aesthetic, or, you know, they're trying to fit into conservative norms, or, you know, freckles are just not that cool anymore, you know? I don't even really see people put freckles on their faces when they're doing their makeup anymore. Like, sometimes I dabble in it. I don't do it too often because it's honestly so freaking time consuming and I just can't be bothered. And I've got them under my makeup, so it's fine. But yeah, like, there isn't that many people that still draw freckles on their face. Like, there was such a huge increase in that, what, 2-ish years ago or so, right? And that's just, people just don't do that anymore. It's just like people are bored of the whole freckle thing. But that's just the way the world works, I guess, you know? Things go in and out of style, but it's wild that freckles were a trend or a style to the majority of people. Again, there's people out there that got freckle tattoos like me because they genuinely just love freckles, and I have absolutely zero plans to ever laser mine off or anything like that. Like, I don't hate them, I love them. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this whole topic. How many of you are shocked by this revelation that, you know, people are lasering off their freckle tattoos and the popularity of freckle tattoos is diminishing very, very quickly? Are you someone yourself that has freckle tattoos? How do you feel about them now? Or would you get freckle tattoos yourself? Just sound off down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, I look forward to reading your comments. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I appreciate you all so, so much. And yeah, that's it for today's video. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, great. Amazing. Bye!